Infotainment Talk Radio, a podcast about vehicles. You love vehicles. We love vehicles. Let's talk. Infotainment Talk Radio with your hosts, Doug and Joel. Infotainment Talk Radio. Infotainment Talk Radio. The Upgrades Are Coming edition. The much anticipated list of upcoming upgrades for the summer of 2019 from Infotainment.com featuring Doug and Tyler.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us today. We're live, our first live show. I'm with Tyler. Tyler is our wholesale.
Hello.
He is our wholesale director here at Infotainment.com. And we just want to go through some of the cool items that we're working on here at Infotainment. We're always working on research and development here. It's not, the only way businesses grow is you got to just keep feeding it, right? So... but the other thing that we do here at Infotainment is, we get a lot of feedback from customers. The customers tell us what they want. So it's not always what we think's really cool and, man, if we just do this and mass produce it, people will buy it. It's almost the opposite. So anyways, we want to spend a little bit of time and just talk about some of the things we're working on. How you doing today, Tyler?
I'm doing good, man.
Good.
I'm doing good.
So what we're going to start with is we're just going to go down the list from the different manufacturers. We'll start with Fiat Chrysler, which consists of Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and then we'll move into GM, Ford, Nissan, and Toyota. So one of our biggest manufacturers here is Ram and Jeep, so we'll start with that. So most of you who are aware of Infotainment.com, all the Ram upgrades we offer, starting with just the infotainment system itself, moving into cameras and satellite radio, and now they do all sorts of things like power folding mirrors and headlight upgrades, tail light upgrades. So
instrument clusters,
clusters. That's been a big hit. So that all pertains to the DS Ram, right? The Ram that was from 13 to 19. So the 19 classic body, that is.
Right.
So the new body, 19, what we are actively researching and working on right now, developing kits for, first and foremost, radio upgrade, right? So if you buy a plain Jane Ram, tradesman, or even a big horn without the convenience package, you'll get the UA1 radio, which is just the Uconnect 5.0. The first and easiest upgrade to do is just go from that to the 8.4 non-nav. It's called the UAM, and that particular radio has built-in Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It's a very easy install, and 100% plug-and-play, pre-programmed, and it gives you Apple CarPlay. You don't need to change out the hub, which is pretty cool. A lot of the retrofit upgrades Infotainment carries, you have to replace the hub, so it's pretty cool not having to do that. So that's the UAM. So that gives you the 8.4-inch screen.
Real quick, with the 5.0, the UAA, right? Is that what it is?
UAA, yeah.
How many of those come with Sirius?
That's a great question. A lot of the Rams, they used to call them the RA1 and RA2. Almost every single one of them came with satellite radio. Now they've kind of made it an option, right? So not many of them. Many of them at all. So that's something to definitely look out for. You could do a satellite radio upgrade by just upgrading to one with
the UAM.
The UA. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So that's a great question. Going from the UAM, those of you who maybe have the big horn with the convenience package, you want nav, right? So when you do that, it actually comes as a separate unit. So the UAM, you may not know, is just an all-in-one unit. It has a display on it. The brains behind of the system itself is built into the screen. Well, starting with the UAV as in Victor, that is the GPS navigation version, and the screen is separate. It's got a separate screen. It's got some wires that go from that to the main unit itself, and it's installed separately. So here at Infotainment, we're working on a plug-and-play kit. It's in production now, and that should be available this summer. So going from a UAM to a UAV is definitely going to be possible. Now, one of the biggest upgrades we're going to release, obviously...
No pun intended.
Yes. Yes. The biggest upgrade we're going to offer this summer is the UAX, and that is the 12-inch screen. So more so than just some harnessing, stuff like that, there is some work that we're going to have to do still on repurposing a lot of the buttons. So when you press buttons or you turn the volume up or whatnot, the actual commands that's being sent to the BCM of the vehicle are different. So we have to remap those to make it all possible. Right. So that's going to be a very exciting upgrade. You know, being able to have a plain Jane truck and going all the way up to that 12-inch screen is going to be fantastic.
I talk to dealers, wholesalers, 12-volt shops all day, and I could tell you that 12-inch display is already like highly in demand.
Yes.
There's customers breathing down our necks about it. So,
yes.
Yeah, like we're saying, summer.
Mm-hmm. That's a huge deal.
Huge.
It's a huge deal.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's going to be huge. So that's going to be awesome. That's related more to the infotainment. And also you'll get, you'll retain Apple CarPlay if you have it currently. You'll get it, by upgrading satellite radios, Tyhler mentioned. The backup camera, we'll talk about that just briefly. Going from the UAA to any of these, the backup camera is it uses a digital camera now, and it's fantastic.
It looks amazing in the 8.4. I can't imagine going on the 12.
Yeah, so it's awesome. So those of you who don't know, they used analog cameras up until 2019, and then the new body. Now they use a digital camera, so you can imagine kind of what the quality would be like. It's almost like using an RCA in your old tube TV versus an HDMI. The picture changed drastically.
It really is drastic
of
a change, yeah.
And it's only 480p, or 480i, I should say. It doesn't really. It's not like it's 4K or something, but the picture's still fantastic. So, anyways, moving on from that, we already offer the power folding mirrors. That's been a great success. We are going to offer the tow mirrors, though. So the new heavy-duty Rams in 19, they do have the option for tow mirrors, and we're going to be able to retrofit that into the 19 DT 1500. So that'll be great. Those of you who tow, you got to love those Ram tow mirrors, the moose ears they call it, with them flipped up, and people have been begging for them because in 19, they didn't offer that as a power folding mirrors. They didn't offer that as a tow option.
So it's not going to be something you can offer necessarily, but on the 2020s, you'll be able to do power.
No, we'll be able to do it.
You'll be able to retrofit in 19.
Yeah. Yep. So that's gonna be awesome. Alongside the mirrors, those of you who have it love it, and it's an awesome safety feature is blind spot monitoring. So. At Infotainment, we're always worried about safety as well, not just entertainment, but safety and convenience. And blind spot monitoring is going to be an option here leading into 2019 summer. If you want to add power folding mirrors and you want to go ahead and put blind spot monitoring in your truck, great time to do it.
2 for 1.
That's awesome.
Yep. So that will be an option. It's more or less, a lot of it is programming, and then, procuring and installing the parts. We're going to have install videos for all of these. We're so excited. We just got our 2019 company Ram from Ohio the other day, so we already tore it apart. And
shout out to Buckeye Chrysler.
There you go. Ram headlights and taillights. So, again, if you have a base model tradesman or the Bighorn without the convenience package, you have just the regular headlights and taillights, you can upgrade those to LED. So we have kits already. It's just a matter of procuring more and getting them advertised and having a full install video. So look out for that. Some other features, we've been offering leather now for about 8 months, which has been a great success. We do have the leather kits available now for the DTs. We are going to have a full leather video as early as tomorrow. I got word back just about an hour ago. We might have that video going tomorrow. How to install leather in your car. Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
It entails a lot.
Yes.
But having a step-by-step video is awesome.
Yes, exactly. Another thing regarding the Ram, then we'll move on to Jeep. There's a little annoying feature called Auto Start Stop in the Ram, and we partner with obdgenie.com to come up with a kit to disable it, right? So you could either disable it completely, or you can just have the switch remember the last position. So, for instance, you get in your truck. I personally have a JL myself, and I always turn the thing off, right? You always turn it off every time you get in the car because you don't want your engine to shut off every time you come to a stoplight or a stop sign. So I always turn it off. Well, this little thing that OBD Genie designed is going to always turn it off. So every time you start the car, it just turns it off for you. So it's good. It's a cool little thing, and it also works in the Ram truck. So something else to throw.
There's
in
nothing
there.
more annoying than driving, forgetting that you didn't press the button and getting to the stop, then having it turn off.
Yes.
And when you're in Florida and it's 90 degrees outside and the air turns off too.
The air turns off and it slowly starts blowing out warm. You're like, all right, this is miserable. Where's that button?
Yeah.
Or, I mean, think about it up north, too. You know,
Yeah.
You stop and it's, 10 degrees.
Yeah.
It's quite annoying. So, but it saves you gas. It saves you, I think, $3 a year in gas by turning off. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so moving on to the JL. So there's some pretty cool things with the JL we're working on this summer. Those of you who have just the sport model, we are with the sport model with the small screen. When you upgrade to the 8.4 currently, you have to use your steering wheel controls to adjust the volume,
Right,
and how to seek and stuff like that. So we're developing a kit to allow you to install a replacement climate control. And it's going to give you automatic climate control. It's going to give you your power button or your volume button, rather, your seek, stuff like that. And it'll give you automatic temperature control with your air conditioning. So that's going to be pretty neat.
That's good to know because I literally had a phone call this morning with the dealer that the volume control on the bezel itself is like a big thing for customers. So, to be able to offer the 8.4 and get that feature too.
Yes, it's
nice.
going to be very convenient. It's going to be very convenient. So we're looking forward to that. Again, the R&D's been done on that. We're waiting on parts, and we can move forward with that this summer. Blind spot monitoring as well for the JL. That's going to be another cool upgrade. They don't have power folding mirrors on the JLs, but they do have blind spot monitoring.
Nice.
So you can add blind spot monitoring on their existing mirrors?
The mirrors, you have to replace the mirrors and the tail lights. The great thing about doing the tail lights, you get the LED tail lights, which is neat. And then the mirrors, the only reason why you're replacing the mirrors for that little triangle to illuminate when there's someone in your blind spot, whether on the passenger or the driver's side. But that's going to be pretty cool. Awesome safety feature. You would assume they would just make that standard, just a standard feature on all these vehicles. But, you got to cut costs and the base models, so.
And that's awesome. That's kind of like a first for infotainment.
Yes. Yep. We're moving into that segment for sure.
Sensors and.
Yep. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, a lot of people are requesting this kind of stuff. So we're thinking, really, blind spot monitoring? Yeah, it's a great safety feature, but does anybody want it? And they do.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's pretty cool. Also for the JL, as I mentioned, the auto start stop remover. That's going to be released here real soon as well. More of a convenience thing there.
Yeah.
Moving on from FCA to GM. Tyler, what's some of the things you've seen?
Two big ones we got are the so with most of the newer GM vehicles, they have switched over to a Harman-based infotainment system, and so there's the IOR system, which is some come in 7, some come in 8-inch displays, and most of them don't have XM, which is a huge feature that customers are calling in about. Now, the dealer will tell you, oh, well, you just use your phone and use the XM app off that. Well, a lot of people just want to have an actual tuner in their car without having to use their phone data.
Yeah.
So we can now offer a true IOR XM OEM upgrade for that, plug and play. We just rolled that out probably, a week ago or so, and that's already a big seller. It's really simple to do, and dealers are happy, and retail customers are happy on that one. The other one we have is the IOU upgrade, the upgrade to factory navigation. Now, this is for any of the newer vehicles that have an iOS setup. So if you look in your glove box or from your VIN, you can pull off the build code showing iOS. With that, you're just swapping out your module, and you're installing a map card in the center console, and you have true factory navigation. It also adds HD radio too.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome. Little bonus.
These, there's still some of the GM vehicles that have the older Bosch setup with the IO5, IO6 setup, but it's now moving over, starting with some of the new Silverados, Terrain. We have the Buick Regal. Some of these are coming out now with the iOS setup, so that's another option we can offer for them.
Something we may move into later in probably the fall or winter of 19 is, like you said, a lot of these vehicles are still being pumped out with IO6, IO5, and they want that new interface, the better technology, the more responsive screen. That's something we're actively going to be working on. It's not on the books right now, but later in the year, that's definitely an upgrade we want to do, is be able to bring you from the IO5 or IO6 to the IOU. Really? Yes, that's going to be really cool. And we've had we have a product interest list on the website that a lot of people will type in what they want, and it's just a database of just questions and inquiries like, when are you guys going to have this available? When are you going to have that available? And it's our product interest list form on our website. So
That's
lot
great.
of Colorado and Canyon customers are just dying for that. So
I love that we do that we can retrofit stuff, because nothing would annoy me more if I buy a new vehicle and it's like, oh man, wait, I don't get CarPlay with this one? Nah, it's the next year you get CarPlay.
Yeah.
Right, you just missed it
Yeah.
by
Just
a
missed
model
it.
year.
Sorry, buddy.
Yep. Something else I just found out, too, which is kind of relevant, I guess, to the GM, is they're not changing. You know how they changed the Silverado for 19? The Silverado changed, the Sierra. They're not changing the Escalade or the Tahoe, the Yukon, or the Suburban until 2021.
Wow.
They pushed it out another year. Their objective was to hit it on 2020, to have the new body, the new infotainment, the new everything. They slipped it 1 year, so now it's 2021 before those are going to change. So, you go to the dealer and you want a 2020 Tahoe, and it's still going to have kind of the older technology. Wow. So
that's good to know.
That's going to be something pretty cool. Moving on, anything else on GM that you can think of? I know that OBD Genie is working on the auto start stop thing as well. That's going to be pretty cool. Maybe not this summer, because there's a lot of interfacing that has to go with that as well. But perhaps a little bit later in the fall or winter. Moving on to Ford. Ford, the new 2020 Explorer is going to use a new style Sync 3 interface. The Sync 3 with the version 3.4. It doesn't add a ton initially. It's just a little bit better, responsive and
More friendly interface.
Yeah, the interface is very similar. The backgrounds, you get other colors you can choose from, stuff like that.
Nice.
But that's the 3.4. The 2020 Explorer is going to be the first to introduce that.
Right.
From what I'm gathering, because we've already played with a few of them, is those will be able to be retrofitted, but we're going to have to try to find the pros in doing that, at least initially. So that's pretty cool. Nothing for this summer. I just wanted to throw that in. The one thing I do want to throw in for Ford is the 2019 Fords. Those of you who own a Ford realize that they're kind of doing away with CD players.
Right.
Kind of like GM's trying to get rid of satellite radio in a lot of respects. Ford's trying to get rid of CD players, and that proved to be a wrong decision for Ram in 2013 because everyone wanted one once it's taken away. So, infotainment does sell a lot of those Ram CD player upgrade kits. Those good old boys want their CDs,
Put on my Shania Twain CD.
Yeah, come on.
So Ford, again, a lot of requests. Hey, I want a CD player again. So what do? You got to replace the bezel. You got to replace the ACM. You have to reprogram the APIM to show you the soft key for the CD player. So it's very easy to do. It is a little bit more expensive because you have to replace the bezel. The bezel is the hard part. If you could take a hacksaw and cut a long CD strip in your bezel, you probably save $400. But The bezel is going to be where the expense is. And so we are going to offer that this summer for those of you who just want to keep things factory. That's kind of our clientele. They want factory. They want the reliability, the clean look. So that will be an option. We are also going to have a CD player kit that you can install or plug into your USB.
That's convenient.
You're going to be able to put a CD in this little. It's almost the size of like the Discman or whatever.
Man.
It's very portable. You don't have to have it plugged in all the time. But if you do want to listen to a CD, you just plug it into your USB port, and you'll be able to listen to a CD. And the best part is you'll be able to control it from your infotainment system and steering wheel control. So
that's nice.
Makes it pretty cool. So,
are we going to talk about how we can do the 8-tracks or cassettes as well?
We do have a cassette right now. Yeah. Yes, it's very hot. We're going to have that coming out here real soon.
CarPlay on vinyl.
Yeah.
The upgrades are coming. We spoke about the Ram truck upgrades coming from infotainment.com. We spoke about the Wrangler upgrades coming and the GM upgrades, as well as the Ford F-150 upgrades. We've got a couple left. Doug and Tyler share the big announcements right now.
All right, so we did all domestic.
All the domestic. Let's move into
Let's go to Westeros and talk about Nissan. We have Jon Snow on the line.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have some pretty cool things coming from the imports, and this is highly anticipated, is retrofitting Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. That's a daunting task, but it's been done. It's been proven.
We've seen it.
We've seen it. And
it's like the dragons. We've seen them. They exist. They're coming. We're warning you.
That's going to be really cool. We're really looking forward to that, to get into more of the, we've always been the domestic guys, we're relatively new at Toyota, maybe 2 years now.
Yeah.
Nissan, about 8 months, and, a lot of success with both, but to really get us on the map, we gotta come up with something big, and that's retrofitting CarPlay and Android Auto. So, that is coming out here real soon. We're waiting on harnessing. We have the units ready. We have everything locked and loaded. And, that's going to be here real soon. So that relates to the Nissan Connect system. And that would pertain to the Altimas, the Rogues. Not quite the Titan yet, but we're going to have all that listed here real soon, all the Nissans that are compatible.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's going to be a big seller.
It is. That's huge.
Other things that our Nissan department is working on, weekly meetings with them. They're working on Wi-Fi kits that are Nissan accessories, little things like you can pop out a little panel behind your armrest to give the rear passengers USB connectivity so they can power their devices, stuff like that. Little things like that we're going to kind of sprinkle in the Nissan department as well on our website. So that'll be fun. And then last but not least, moving into Toyota. So I'll let Tyler talk about Toyota for a minute. From a lot of the dealers and wholesalers, are they asking a lot about that, or?
Oh yeah, a lot of customers with Camrys that want to be able to put the new Entune 3.0 in the older vehicles, or just in one in general that doesn't have it. So the 3.0s come with the CarPlay feature or Android Auto, depending on the phone, but. That's a huge demand right now for customers wanting to be able to implement that to current vehicles and older. Install, it's basically replacing the radio.
Replace the radio. It's going to be awesome. Now, there is a little caveat with Nissan, you can program the actual radio to do Bose or non-Bose. With the Toyota, it's JBL or non-JBL. They have different versions. So if you have the JBL audio system in your Toyota and you want the CarPlay upgrade, make sure you select JBL as your option.
Right.
Otherwise, you'll have some audio issues there. But again, it's going to be great.
If you don't know if you have JBL or not, we can just give us the VIN. We can find out for you.
Yes, absolutely. We can do the decodes. We do have a VIN decoder right on our website, so that's something else you guys could look into as well. But some exciting new things coming out here summer 2019.
Thank you, Doug and Joel. Doug and Tyler. Sorry. I am Joel. There we go. These are the upcoming radio upgrades. We thought you'd be super excited about that. This is the very first live episode for Infotainment Talk Radio. Go to infotainmenttalk.com for all of your needs. Go put in your year, make, and model there. See what's available for your vehicle. And again, this summer, the upgrades are coming.
Greetings from Infotainment.com. Are you looking for a radio or an accessory upgrade that is designed specifically for your vehicle? Infotainment.com has the solution. We offer 100% plug-and-play and pre-programmed factory upgrades for all big three domestic automobiles, including Toyota. All products come with a no-hassle warranty and full live tech support. Some popular upgrades include factory GPS navigation, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto functionality, backup cameras, Bluetooth hands-free, Sirius XM satellite radio, and much more. Call or click today. You'll be glad you did.